Today's show is brought to you by Boohoo Man. You can get an extra 10% off all their menswear right now. Right now. So up to 40% off their entire clothing range using the promo code TFT10. Use our link in the description below as well and take a look at their new range of clothes, their active sportwear, going out, holiday clothes, shoes and accessories, and much, much more. Make sure like buttons are being smashed on the video today. Get your comments in below as well. I want to know what you think about this. Could Paul Pogba join a Premier League rival? Could this happen? Could it be the case? A Man City, a Chelsea, a Liverpool sign Paul Pogba. This is a story that started circulating a couple of days ago. I want to take some time to reflect on it and think, what do I think about this? What do Man United fans think about this? According to journalist, I'll share his name here so you can see Mike McGrath, reporter of the Daily Telegraph, colleague of course, the brilliant Matt Law, Paul Pogba is open to Premier League offers if he leaves Man United this summer. That is the claim being made. That is the stance being pushed out. That's what people are now saying. Where have they got this information from? I mean, it's another leak. Let's just be blunt. Another leak that involves Man United internal information. Could it happen? A lot of people don't want to believe it can. No, he wouldn't join a rival. He wouldn't want to join another Premier League club. Where is this coming from? Definitely wants to go to Real Madrid. PSG are going to offer him lots of money. There's no guarantees at those clubs, though. And what I mean by that is this. Like, Real Madrid are looking to rebuild. They could go and get Mbappe. They could sign Haaland. They could sign Paul Pogba. The mad thing is they could get Mbappe and Pogba on free deals. Now, free transfers aren't free transfers. We went through this yesterday. We'll talk about it a bit more in this video as well. You sign somebody for free, not really free. It's why net spend is a way of talking about how much a club has or hasn't spent. Is a fugazi. It's a nonsense. And we'll go into why a little bit later. But Real Madrid, for me, PSG, I look at them as the two favourites to get him, I do. But is it beyond the realms of possibility he joins a Premier League rival? No. We know that only 2 to 3 years ago, Mino Raiola was pushing him towards other Premier League clubs, Man City namely being the big boy here. They were pushing him. They were pushing for the deal. Would you take him? Would you be interested? Pogba weren't telling his agent to stop. He was allowing that to go on. Do I blame Paul Pogba? No. I've said this many, many times before, and I know some of you are going to start with, you can't blame Pogba for what Raiola does. That is nonsense. Paul Pogba allows his agent to behave like this by keeping him as his agent. He empowers the behavior. Directly or indirectly, it doesn't really matter. But I don't blame Paul Pogba before any of you start crying in the comment section. Football clubs are not loyal to players. A football club will move on, bang, somebody else. They always have, they always will, they always should. That ruthless mentality from the elite clubs is what separates the best from the worst. It's what separates the good clubs from the very good to the elite clubs to the absolute Don Daddios, the bee's knees. Ruthlessness. Cutting edge. Every time. Every time. So am I frustrated or annoyed when players behave in the same way? No, you shouldn't be. I get there's always, you respect the club. Keeping it private is the important bit. That is what Man United players across the spectrum do not do, ever, at any point, never. They don't do it. But could Paul Pogba join a rival club in the Premier League? Of course he could. Of course he could. Without a shadow of a doubt, he could do that. No doubt about it in my mind. Not one part of me believes that isn't plausible. Not one part of me thinks that couldn't happen. He would absolutely kill it at a Chelsea. He would destroy it at a Manchester City. He would be phenomenal at a Liverpool Football Club. I don't see him going Liverpool. I don't believe he would do that. I don't. I'd rule Liverpool out. But Man City or Chelsea, if the money's right, the status in the team is right, and the project is right, he could do it. It could happen. I don't think it's the favorite thing to happen. I don't think it's the most likely, but I wouldn't rule it out personally. Man City or Chelsea could win the Champions League this year. I know Liverpool can, but I don't think it'll go there. I'm using them as this example. City are Premier League champions. He might look over at Real Madrid and go, okay, well, you've signed 2 other big stars. Firstly, can you afford me this year? Secondly, what's my status? Where am I going to play? How well? Where are you actually in terms of growth? You might go there and find it doesn't work, this kind of Galactico approach. PSG, it's an ego club. Very good players. They don't deliver in the Champions League. They haven't won it. They've come close, but you know what are they going to do this year? If they fall out of the Champions League early, Mbappe leaving, Messi looking past his best, I don't know if it's the right place for Pogba. It might be, it might not be. Could he look at Man City or Chelsea though and go, title challengers, stable ship, can afford me, highly competitive in the Champions League right now. The project is working right now. I don't have to up sticks and leave. Don't sell my house if I stay in Manchester. I love the London vibe. He's practically an honorary Brit in my eyes. He's been here since he was very, very young. He might want to stay. He may want to stay. And the Glazers could have more blood on their hands. In terms of how much he'll earn, he wants around 400 grand a week from Man United. Much, much easier for a club signing him for free. And I quote unquote free because it is a fallacy that players like Pogba, Mbappe's are signed for free. We saw this story yesterday from the Telegraph's, the Independent's Miguel Delaney, that Kylian Mbappe is to be offered a new contract at PSG that would see him earn close to £1 million a week. This would put him as one of the highest paid players in the world. It's also expected that the likes of Real Madrid would be willing to offer him somewhere close to that as well. I mean, this is 2 of the reasons why net spend doesn't exist in the arbitrary basic sense that we speak about, because PSG, to keep Kylian Mbappe, need to invest. And I was looking at this morning, and I've lost the figure in front of me right now. What is Mbappe's current wages? I want to explain this, and then we're going to go back to Pogba, and it'll make sense. So he's currently on 22 million euros a year, which is in and around 400 grand a week. So he's already on a hell of a lot of money. He's on a hell of a lot of money already. But they're going to look to more than double it. So they're willing to pay him north of 25 to 26 million a year more. That investment is like a transfer. So what is going to cost PSG to keep him? 25 million extra a year over a 5-year period. I mean, you haven't got to be a rocket. It's 125. It would be between 125 and 150, including bonuses and add-ons, plus image rights to keep Kylian Mbappe. There isn't a transfer pot. There isn't a transfer kitty. There isn't a pot of money for transfers. There's a percentage of the football club's turnover that is used for player expenses. And that includes wages, bonuses, image rights, agent fees, transfer fees. So, re-signing Kylian Mbappe for more than double his wages is like a signing. You are spending that from that same pot of money. There's no transfer war chest. There's just a section of the club's income that's segregated for player expenses, player costs, as it were. Real Madrid are also looking like they're willing to offer him a huge amount of money to come play for them. Now, if you were spending 150 million pounds to sign Mbappe, he wouldn't be getting £1 million a week in wages, irrespective of what PSG are offering him, because the player would know, yeah, but the club's got to invest 150 million pound in me already. So he'd probably go in on 500 to 600,000 pound a week. Him earning less, but still cost you more when you buy a player than when you get them for free. It does. But to act like there's zero cost or there's zero net spend is just an absolute fallacy. And that's where the Paul Pogba situation becomes very intriguing. Pogba wants 400 grand a week. If you're dropping 50, 60, 70, 80 million pounds on Paul Pogba, it's hard to pay him that kind of money as well on top. When you're signing him for free, the money that you would generally invest in a player of his quality, let's just say a nice round, even in this market, Paul Pogba quality, £70 million. That's £70 million you're saving in transfer fees is often then broken down and given to the player as a signing on fee. The agent fee is normally higher and they get additional salary. Just look at Aaron Ramsey going to Juve. He would never have got 400 grand a week if they dropped £50 million to Arsenal to buy him 3 years earlier. So that's why I do think the Chelsea and the Man City connection into, I suppose Liverpool there as well, but I don't think Liverpool will get him, into Pogba also reigns true. Because they're getting him for free, they could afford to pay him that kind of money as well. They could reach the transfer fee. Well, there isn't a transfer fee, so they can reach the salary demands. He wouldn't have to leave the UK. And those projects are ready. They're done. They're built. They're good to go. I still make PSG second favourites, Real Madrid number one favourites to get him, in my opinion. But this is a story that I'm very, very interested in because it would also show how in the mud Man United are. It should be another trigger point to focus on the Glazers. It won't. A lot of United fans will just be angry with Pogba for doing it. Again, the anger's always misplaced with Man United fans. But that's my take on the matter, people. That's what I'm thinking and feeling. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Make sure like buttons are being smashed before you go today. Big shout out to our title sponsors, Boohoo Man, for backing this show today. Go and get your discount now. Go take a look at their range of clothing. Some of it is absolutely brilliant, especially for you young bucks. Especially for you young bucks. Go check it out. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.